Hey y'all, welcome to the filling station. It's a new day, another opportunity to either make money in this market or to just learn from the market. But first, y'all, let me give my disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. I just enjoy teaching people how to build generational wealth. And yes, the stock market is just one of those avenues. So this video is for educational purposes only. But if you could, please like, share, subscribe, y'all. I say it often, we learn and we grow together. With that being said, let's get started. We are looking at AMD and we closed at 192.43. What's interesting is we've come down on this off of this 184.29. Y'all see price came down to a place I kind of knew we could possibly have trouble. I love to see that, right? So we bounced from there only to come back up and get rejected at that 50 EMA, but as you can see, it's really close. That 191.50 area was a resistance area for us, is what I had, and it bounced. Let's see, the high of this candle here is about 191.44, very close. I like to see that, right? So as of now, where are the trouble places? And keep in mind, this is recorded pre-market. And one disclaimer, I look at support and resistance on a smaller scale. Why? Because when I'm in the trade, I kind of want to know where my possible trouble places could be, right? So as of right now, support for AMD is around the 189.01. We can say resistance around the 190.65. Should we break that area, again, 191.50, and breaking that brings us back to the 192.26, which puts us in this area here. However, breaking that for AMD, we have a few layers of resistance around the 193.48 up to the 194.29. Keep in mind there's a few layers there, but we could very well get stopped out anywhere in here. So that's an interesting place to watch, right? So breaking past the 194.29 for AMD today, 195.67 could be a resistance area, which is kind of close to that 200 EMA. Again, I like to look at the 30-minute chart, right? I say it often. It just tells a story I like to read. So breaking the 197 or 195.67 area, there's a few layers here at the 196.64 up to the 197.53. We could very well get stopped out anywhere in this area here. However, breaking that, the next level is around 198.66. So if you are trading AMD to the upside, those are possible areas of resistance. I'm going to say it again, not financial advice. Right now, if we should break under this level of support here of 189.01, we could very well come back to 188.19, 187.38, 186.74, and y'all see I have around the 185.26, which the ATR trailing stop is around the 185.56, not very far away. However, breaking those levels there, we could very well come back to the 184.43 area. So that would be interesting, 184.43. So let's say we break under that 184.43 area for AMD, which is around here. I need to mark that. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to mark that. Why? Because price met in this area here. So let's go back to the downside. So under 185.26, we can very well find support for AMD 184.71. And again, here at the 184.43, should we break that, we could very well come back to 183.97, and breaking that 183.24. Again, we can get stopped out here. We can get stopped out here. I say mark your levels. Once it goes against your why or your reason for getting in the trade, make sure you have a plan before getting in the trade. Get out, right? So we are now looking at Meta. We closed at 644.86, and as you can see, it too has come down, bounced off of a support area, only to go back up to a resistance area. Seems like that 50 EMA is kind of like a place today, right? So AMD and now Meta, right? So where are the trouble places? I'm going to see if I can make this a little bit visible for us as of right now. Right now, support is around the 635.49, and we can say that resistance is here. We can say the 637.70 or the 638.64, right? So again, this is what's stopping us now. However, this is the level that I would say is our strong area of resistance, which is around the 638.61. However, breaking that, the next level, 639.97. Again, that's right where the 50 EMA is now. Should we break that, 641.47, again at 642.62, should we break that, 6 644.99, keep in mind there's an area here that we could very well get stopped out. So breaking the 644.99 up to the 645.83, there's a few layers there. So breaking that, the next level is around the 646.99. Again, we could very well get stopped out in this area here. So breaking again that 649.99, the next level is around 648.05. So if you're trading Meta to the upside today, those are possible areas of resistance. I'm going to say it again, not financial advice, right? This is what I see when I look at the market. So under the 635.49, 634.64 could be a level of support, breaking that to the downside, 633.80, and should we break that, 632.74, now breaking that 631.73 and breaking that level, 630.17, and under that 630.17, 628.18. Now breaking that 628.18 brings us back to the 626. 626.26 is what the low of this candle is. I have the 626.43, which was a double area here. So in my opinion, this could be a strong area of support. Hence, it stopped here before. Breaking that for Meta today, we could very well come back to the 624.96, not far away, and under that, 623.75, and again 622.08. So if you're trading Meta today, those are possible areas of support and resistance. I say it often, y'all, not financial advice. I bet when people look at my charts, how do you understand any of that? Let me show you. I block out the outside noise. I zoom in and focus on the things that I need to see, right? So we are now looking at NVDA. We closed at 177.82. And as you can see, again, it seems to be having trouble at that 50 EMA, as with Meta and AMD. That's interesting, finding support right under that 20 EMA here, right? Or the 20 EMA at the time. So support for NVIDIA was around the 175.86. We can say resistance 176.60. Should we break that 176.89? And y'all see that 50 EMA is kind of falling in line again at an area of 177.13 that we have marked. Now breaking that, there's a few layers of resistance for NVIDIA in this area. 177.43, 177.59, 177.80, 177.99, breaking that 177.99, 178.25, 178.43, 178.58. Those are possible areas of resistance. Again, I look at it on a smaller scale. Why? Because when I'm in the trade, I kind of want to know where my possible trouble places are. Many people look at it at half, like 50-cent increments, or whole dollar increments. It's what works best for you. I need to say that again, right? It's whatever works best for you. Now back to the downside for NVIDIA today, under 175.88, we could very well come back to this area of the gathering spot, as I'd like to say, under this level of 175.47. Now should we break that, 175.22, 175.01, we've hit this couple times here. Now breaking that brings us back to the level of around 174.68. There's a few layers as we see here, down to the 174.52. So 174.68 down to the 174.52 could be a support area for NVIDIA today, and breaking that 174.18 down to the 174, which is not very far away. So under the 174, the next level, y'all see that ATR trailing stop is right at a level that I have marked 173.66. Let's see, I have 173.63, 3 cents off, not far away. It puts us in the area I love to see it, y'all. I just marked simple support and resistance. I find the gathering spot here, and I mark those levels. Why? Because price is probably going to come back to that area. So support and resistance, right? Look, I call it charting 101. So those are possible areas of support and resistance for NVIDIA today. Again, mark your levels. Once it goes against your why or your reason for getting in the trade, get out so that you can live to trade another day, right? That's important. Now, we are looking at the SPY, and yes, I agree with you. The SPY in Tesla and NVIDIA is very congested. Why? I've been trading them a few years now, right? Again, I have to block out the outside noise and focus in on what I need to see. As of right now, SPY we closed at 672.38. That is interesting to see us down here at 656. 80. We bounce from there only to have trouble again at that 50 EMA, finding support again at the 20 EMA. It seems like every chart that we've looked at did the exact same movement, right? So that's important to know. Right? So as of right now, where are the trouble places for the SPY? So back to the, let's say, support is around the 664.55, which is where our 20 EMA is. Our resistance, we see it here, 667.27. Now back to the upside, we will have trouble, or possibly have trouble again, 667.68, 667.97, breaking that 668.58. Those are tongue twisters. Yes, up to the 669.01. And should we break that, 669.45, breaking that today, 669.85, and 670.35, breaking the 670.35 today, 670.66, not very far away. However, breaking that 671.23. Keep in mind, we could get stopped out in this little area here. Again, not financial advice. So as of now, back to the downside, let's say we break under the 665.46 area here. We can come back to the 664.89, 664.55, 664.12, and under that, we can say around the 663.41. Should we break that, 662.77 puts us back in this area here. However, breaking that, the next level, 662.41, 662.03, 661.75. Now, breaking that level, 661.75, let's see, the next level is around the 661.38, and again at 661.04. There's a few layers of support for the SPY at the 662.77 down to the 661.04 as we see here, right? So breaking that brings us back to the 660.51. Now breaking that 660.51 area for the SPY, let's say 660 right there, 660.51. The next level is 660.27, and breaking that level, we have, I'm going to use the ATR trailing stop and the level here. Y'all see it's forming here, and we have a line there, right? 659.63. And again, we wouldn't have known that it was going to be there, right? That's why it's important that we mark our levels of support and resistance. I say that often. So 659.63. However, breaking that for the SPY today, we could very well come back to 659.11. I could use this area here around the 659.27 from this area down to this area. Why? Because something held us right here. Price held in this area here only to come back to this area here. So let's say we break under the 659 or 659.63 for the SPY. The next level is around 659.50, and under that we can have around, trouble around the 659.27. And should we break that 659.11, breaking that 659.11, we could very well come back to the ATR this area here around, let me mark that, 658.68. So that could be a support area. Keep in mind, we could very well get stopped out anywhere in this area here. So 658.68, and breaking that for the SPY, 658.51 and 658.35. So I'm going to zoom back out so that we can see that, yes, support and resistance, y'all. It works for me, and I say that often. It works for me. I kind of know where my possible trouble places could be, right? So again, this is what I see when I look at the market. I say it often, y'all. There's so many different ways to trade the market, and what's challenging is trying to figure out the strategy that works best for you. So we are now looking at Tesla, and I say it often, Tesla does what Tesla does, right? We closed at 396.73, and as y'all can see, we came down here to a 385.42 pre-market. Let's see, very close to an area that I have marked here. I love to see that, right? So Tesla bounced from there only to go back to the upside, and it too had trouble at that 50 EMA, found support at that 20 EMA, and now we are trying to fall under that. So where are the trouble places for Tesla today? We can say support is around 388.17. We can use 391.34 as a resistance area. area. However, breaking that to the upside, 391.97. Again here at 392.73 and breaking that 393.24. Should we break that, 394.18, 394.96, breaking the 394.96 for Tesla today. Possibly 396.66, and should we break that for Tesla, 398.09. So if you are trading Tesla to the upside today, those are possible areas of resistance. Again, not financial advice. Let's look to the downside. Let's say we break under the 389.01. The next level is 388.17, and under that, should we break that, 386.99, which brings us in this area here. Should we break the 386.99, I'm going to mark a level because my eye goes to around this area here. Price touched this line a few times, 1, 2, almost 3, right? So that 386.23 could be a support area for us. Breaking that, 385.36, low of this candle, 385.42, not far away. However, breaking that for Tesla today, 383.39, and breaking that today, 381.68. Should we break that, 380.55, and breaking that, 379.19 could be a support area for us. What will be interesting is if we break this 379.19, we could very well come back to 374.36, and under that 373.04. Should we break the 373.04, 371.61 could be a support area for us for Tesla. Again, it would not surprise me to see us back at this 370 area. I'm going to say it again, not financial advice. So y'all, again, there's so many different ways to trade the market. This is what I see. This is what works for me. I have to filter out the outside noise and focus on the things that I need to focus on. So that's why my charts look a little bit congested, right? So I hope this information is very, very helpful. I hope that everyone have a very profitable and a very, very productive day today. If you could please, again, like, share, subscribe. Y'all, I said often, we learn, we grow together. So until next time, be blessed as well as a blessing unto others.